Well, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whoever, or no, whatever. Wherever you are in the planet. I did this video in Spanish just half an hour ago, and it was pretty intense, the information and energy. So let's navigate through this. My name is Miriam Cunha, and I welcome you to my channel where we talk about things that help us navigate through this evolution stage in this planet Earth. And the subject of tonight is my experience of this ascension, dimensional ascension, however you want to call it. I don't know if the right word is ascension because I don't see things in a linear way. And ascension gives me the impression of I'm going from down to up, somewhere going up. And there might be this movement going up, but it's not the only movement happening. It's like I always say, like circular spiral. Think about a spiral movement, which is a shape, a geometric, sacred geometry shape that you can find everywhere. The spiral, the constant circular moving to the inside and to the outside. That's more how I see it. So I see this evolution change process more in a spiral way than in an ascension way. But that's the word that many people are using to describe this process, and we're going to call it ascension. Although, please think about a movement that is not exactly linear, up and down and up and down. So it's not that we descended here to somewhere like hell, although this place sometimes feels like it because there are so many chaotic things happening here. But this place also has a lot of beauty. The planet is beautiful. It is plenty, it's abundant, it's amazing. This planet is amazing. And the planet is a being, is a living being. This planet is part of a system of other planets, which are other living beings, which have a sun, which is another living being, which is part of a galaxy, which also has a central sun, which is another very big in evolution living being. And this galaxy is part of millions of galaxies of a universe. So when you think about all of that dimensionally, we have layers of experiences, layers of diversity of energy in all kinds of shapes and forms that you can even imagine. Sometimes we don't even grasp how big the universe is. And when you think about the old saying, as above, as below, as inside, as outside, as big as small as big, the patterns of manifestation repeat itself in smaller or bigger fragments. And so we do ourselves as well. So this process of ascension in terms of newer dimensions, for me personally, has been more a process of consciousness of who I am and the different dimensions that my consciousness is experiencing at the same time. So, if you have been watching some of my other videos, you have heard my story and how long I've been on this journey of consciousness awakening. Since I was a little child, I was already questioning things. I remember when I was around 9 years old, and my grandmother was teaching me catechism, which is the Catholic uh, religious teachings. And when she mentioned that God made everything in 7 days, and I asked her, but if God made everything, who made God? That was like a genuine, innocent question from a child to an adult who followed a religion and had a set of beliefs, who was trying to teach me something. But she didn't have an answer because religions don't allow you to go beyond the set of beliefs that are programmed, right? In general. So religion has been, in a certain way, corrupted because the word religion means to reconnect with God. And we don't really need an intermediary being in to reconnect with God. This process of ascending into newer dimensions is a process of having consciousness on how amazing and big you are as a soul inhabiting a body, a physical body on this planet, which I always emphasize because we tend to mistake ourselves by identifying ourselves with the physical body and thinking that's who we are. So we grow up in a physical body, looking at ourselves in the mirror, looking in a certain way, and then we graduate of a certain profession or learn a certain profession, work on a certain thing, and then we identify ourselves with being that profession or what we do or the children we have or the like we identify ourselves with all these external factors instead of identifying ourselves with who we really are, which is a soul, a consciousness inhabiting this physical body and different physical bodies all at the same time. And that's where the non-linear time enters. So it has been a process of mine after all these years questioning and learning. Last year, in particular, was a big year for understanding the multidimensional me, which has been a big journey because I was at first kind of in shock to see, oh, okay, so I am this Miriam here in this other experience, other dimension, with some of the same people but doing different things, living in a different house, in a different place. These other people were doing things differently. And then I had awareness of another me in a different experience and another me, and then I was like, what? So all of this is happening at the same time. It's not that it happens before and it's a linear kind of evolution. No, it's all happening at the same time. So it's all this parallel me's experiences happening all at the same time. So I question my higher self showing me all of that. What's the purpose of this part of me being aware of all these other me's at the same time? And the answer I got was like, as an entire being, a collective of all these experiences that are happening at the same time. If I awaken on this experience here, I can pull these other parts of me all together like pieces of a puzzle and put it together. Like if I, at one point on my evolution, decided to scatter myself into these little pieces to experiment all these individualities, but they're all part of one consciousness, like a monad. It's In occult studies, it's known as monada. It's your higher self, which is the set of different experiences and individualities that make part of the whole you are. And to grasp this concept fully, because I've studied that with my occult and esoteric studies before, but to actually understand it was a process that happened during this last year of evolution in the planet, because the planet is going through its own evolution as a being, and is it's moving itself from the third dimension to the fourth, fifth dimension. The fourth dimension is actually a transition in between, and what that means is it's less density in energy. So let's think again. Everything is energy. The chair you're sitting, it's made out of atoms. Atoms are made of electrons, protons, and neutrons, which are sets of energy moving. So the electrons move around the nucleus and the protons, and constant movement. And there are atoms of different shapes and forms of energy. So the more atoms you conglomerate, the more density you get in matter. But it's still made out of atoms and energy that is constantly moving. Another principle of the universe. Everything is always moving. Everything is in constant movement. And if something in the universe gets stuck for some reason, the universe pushes it, sometimes in a violent way, to move, because that's the principle, it's movement. Take an example as a fruit. If the tree produces a certain fruit that is meant to be eaten and is meant uh, to provide the elements that somebody needs, and it's there for that purpose. That is also made of atoms, right? It's moving inside. Okay, so the person collects a fruit, an apple from a tree, leaves the apple on top of a table, and the apple is not eaten for 3, 4 weeks. What happens with that apple? The apple starts to rotten. Why it why does it start to rotten? Because external agents and internal agents start creating bacteria and fungus, which starts eating that fruit from inside out until the fruit is not a fruit anymore, and it's gone. Why did that happen? Because the universe is movement, is constant movement. And if something is stuck, not serving a purpose, something will push it to move and to serve another purpose. So instead of serving the purpose of being eaten by an animal or a human, it will be eaten by bacteria and fungus, and it will be transforming into something else. So, clarifying those principles of the universe, this is part of what's happening with us with this dimensional ascension. And as I explained before, I don't like the word ascension because it's linear, but that's the word people are using. So we're going to use that word for the process of evolution into a new level of consciousness that we all are having the opportunity to go through in this planet. So we're all having this opportunity because the planet itself, as a being, it's decided to move on to a new planet in terms of density and consciousness. This planet has served its purpose through throughout thousands, if not millions of years, and witnessing different kinds of evolutions on its surface and its insides as well. It's just that we're not aware of how much diversity of life this planet has been holding, not only on the surface but inside. And it has decided to move into a less dense matter. Still energy, but the atoms are more expanded. So the consciousness of these atoms is more expanded and is more flexible. And we're going to be experiencing, the ones of us who decide to move on with the planet to the fifth dimension, we're going to be experiencing less density on the matter. Things like going through matter, like going through walls, manifesting things immediately. All of these fantastic things that we see on some of the uh, s- science fiction movies or science fiction bookstores or old stories of enchanted realms which actually exist. So that's where the earth itself is moving to. And we all have this opportunity to go with this movement of change. The thing is that many of the human beings on this planet have decided individually not to move on and get stuck on the same kind of density. And if you decide to stay on the same level of density, what will happen is that you will be pulled out of this reality to another more dense reality in a planet that will go through that. It's probably another planet moving from the second dimension to the third. Anyway, many individuals on this planet have decided that, especially the ones that have been deciding to take the inoculation of that is being offered to humanity as a cure for what they're saying we're going through. Unfortunately, that inoculation is being made for getting us stuck on evolution and not moving on. So it is interfering with our third eye, with our vision, inner visions, our consciousness level to connect with our higher self, etc., etc. But it is totally an individual choice at this point, although many people believe that it's um, mandatory, is not mandatory. And some people think it's going to be mandatory, but it's still not mandatory. So it is your choice if you're taking it or not, right? Is your choice if you're going to stand up for your own evolution process or not. And that has been my choice. And I am choosing that no inoculation is going to interfere on my evolving process at the moment, which I have long time decided to go through. So it is an honor for me to be able to have a physical body and to be incarnated here to go through this process together with the planet Earth and with other amazing, loving light beings that are conscious about this process. So, in my particular experience of this process, and others that I have contact with, not only in person but also through the internet. Many people are feeling the same thing. So we're going through waves of magnetic resonance, or known as Schumann resonance, which is an effect of the solar explosion sending magnetism to the Earth, affecting every matter that is on this planet. And the beings that have been choosing to move in evolution and take the opportunity of these waves of energy, we're feeling lots of physical effects with that. So some days we feel like we just want to sleep. Some days we'll feel extremely tired. Some days I feel like eating at hours that I normally don't, or eating more, or not eating at all. Some days I'm more sensitive to noise, or to certain music or light, or so it's been a shaking experience, just like being inside of a ship that is navigating this huge storm in the middle of a hurricane. And you know, when you're in a ship, even if you don't feel nauseous in a regular boat trip, but if you're in a storm, you will feel nauseous. So it's like, is this moving? This is the same thing I have been feeling through this process of evolution we're all going through on this planet Earth ship that is navigating through this galaxy. So, as a planetary system, we have been moving to. We're not static on the same place as the galaxy. We've been moving. We used to be farther to the edge of the galaxy, and now, if you look at the maps, we might think it's like a memory effect or something, but now we are located more on the inside of the galaxy than we were before. And that happened without nobody telling us. But I remember when I was younger, because I used to stare at galaxy maps. I wanted to understand the universe, so I wanted to look at the stars. So I had a big map. I used to stare for hours. And I remember we were located at the edge of the Milky Way, at the edge of the galaxy. And now, if you look at the maps, actually, I'm gonna find that on the internet right now and show you. See where we are at. So if I ask uh, Earth position in the Milky Way. Hmm, I found the map here. Okay, Earth's position. I'm trying to find a map that actually shows um, star forming Earth. Okay, better map. Better map. Mm, it's kind of a flat map. Mm. Bear with me. I'm just trying to find a nice galaxy map. Is there? So, oh, here. There you go. Now you can. I'm gonna share this with you. Be fine. I lost it. There. Ah, lost it. Open image on a new tab. There is the image. No, it's not. Here. All right. And I'm gonna magnify it and share it with you. Share it with you. Zoom. Share screen. There. There is our galaxy. So a galaxy is amazing. So you see where they are saying we are here. So this would be our solar system. And I remember we were at the edge of this galaxy, and now we're almost halfway through inside of the galaxy. So we're rooming to the inside. And this middle here of the galaxy, the Milky Way, it's the central sun of the galaxy. So we're not talking about our solar system here. I'm going to open another one just to look for the solar system. Solar system. Our solar system. Okay. So this is our lots of images here. This is a good one. Open image on the new tab. Hmm, small, but okay. So this is our solar system. Our solar system, if we compare to a small system, it would be like an atom with the nucleus and the protons inside and the electrons spinning outside. So this is a solar system, and this is a galaxy. So on the solar system, we have our sun, who's been having, who's been receiving energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy and having explosions of magnetism, which is reaching our planet, which is here, this blue little one here that turns around the sun in 365 days. That's our planet. Despite if you think it's flat or round, it doesn't matter. Still has this movement. And okay, so this is the comparison. This planet is receiving solar explosions affecting our magnetism, and this our sun is receiving energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy. So all that system with the sun and the planets is this little ball here in the middle of the Milky Way, which is our galaxy. So we are aligning on the next 13 days, according to the Mayan calendar that I follow, the Tzolk'in. We're aligning with another portal, another one, because we've been aligning already, receiving energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy, which is known by the Mayans as Hunabku. So we're opening these portals here. It's like a wave of energy reaching our planetary system, which is this here. And we're awakening with waves of energy all this planetary system, thus awakening our bodies as well, our consciousness. All this movement of energy is happening, and nobody can say they're not feeling anything. Maybe that's the reason why some people are feeling sick and leaving their bodies, because it is very intense and it depends on how your vibration is, the way you're feeling this whole thing. So I'm going to stop sharing this for a while and continue with the experience that I've been having with this evolution, with this experience of dimensional ascension, or whatever you want to call it, this change, deep change in consciousness we're going through. It's amazing. It's amazing. So the body has been feeling this things like if we were inside of a boat in the middle of a big storm. But our consciousness is awakening in terms of seeing and understanding things that we didn't see and didn't understand before. Things are getting more clear depending on the stage of understanding you were before. So some of us have been doing a lot of spiritual and understanding work, energy work before for years. I've been doing that since I remember myself as a being incarnated on this planet. But the last year, I started getting this consciousness of being a set of individuals that have a set of experiences happening all at the same time. Robert is saying people are in a big denial about a lot of things. Oh, yeah. Well, and the inoculation, that they want to give everybody, that's even gonna get people stuck, because it's for what I see, It's something that is being given to people in their bodies to stop them from evolving, from seeing beyond, from understanding the power they have within, from understanding the potential of the being, of the spiritual being that we are. So we all have the opportunity right now and we have the choice. But some people, like you said, Robert, they are in a big denial about lots of things. They don't want to see things and they don't want to evolve. And what's going to happen is that those people are going to have to continue to a different planet that will be on the same density that this planet Earth has been until now, because the planet Earth from now on is just moving into another dimension, less dense dimension, where we're going to have the opportunity of thrive through um, things that we consider paranormal today, like uh, walking through walls or manifesting instant healing of a wound or of like it's gonna it this is this experience with this uh, new less dense dimension. The fourth dimension is a bridge, and the fifth dimension is it's less dense and amazing for all these manifestations. And something that came to my mind right now is that we I have to clarify that our being, our consciousness, who we really are, has been in all of these dimensions at the same time all the time. It's just that the more we immerse part of our consciousness into more density, we forgot and we lost contact with the the truth of who we are. And on higher density levels, we became praise of the beings that inhabit these more dense uh, universes or realities, which actually feed out of certain energies like fear, depression, anger, you name it, all those negative feelings that make us suffer, anything that makes us suffer. Those beings that rule those lower dimensions, they feed out of those energies. So they create environments, realities to actually put us into the state of that kind of feeling that they feed off. I compare that to sort of like growing chickens in a farm. Like a farmer that grows chickens wants the chickens to get fat, so they feed them and they keep them in cages nowadays, and they don't let them understand the potential they have for being free. And these chickens don't even realize they have wings, and they could fly. And especially if they grew up in that environment, not even ever acknowledging that, right? But all of these experiences are part of this universe. The universe embraces all kinds of experiences and beings that we cannot even imagine with our present state of consciousness. And not only they exist on this entire universe, but they also coexist here on this planet. So this planet has been the house not only to humans, but to animals and plants and minerals, etc., etc., but also to other types of beings that are even more evolved than we are, and beings that live inside of the planet and in the surface. So thinking that we are the only ones that think and do things like humans, it's a big self-centered mistake because we just bought into a big lie that was told to us. So you got to understand. This Earth, not only the Earth, but the other planets on the solar system, the sun itself, it's a being. There are all kinds of beings you cannot even imagine, and this is a reality that you have to embrace on your process of evolution, so that you are actually ready to be in contact with other types of beings. Just like here, we are in contact with humans that have different colors and cultures. In a bigger scale, we're going to start having contact with beings that are not human looking, and they have different kinds of shapes and cultures and understanding of things. So we're going to have to adapt, just like the Star Trek. I was a big fan of Star Trek because those science fiction series and movies actually told us lots of truths to start preparing our consciousness for this moment in time where we were going to be awakening to these other realities. So many people will still think, oh, this is just a movie. Well, but lots of those movies have lots of realities that we can deny, or we can actually understand that they are some type of reality that exists on this planet or universe or galaxy, or all these dimensions that we have of realities. So what's happening with us right now is that we're gathering more consciousness of who we are, because we are opening inside channels propelled by the magnetism that is reaching us, filtered through the sun. Because if we got this energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy without being filtered by the sun, we couldn't take it. Actually, there are lots of filters happening right now, beings, angelic beings, and spiritual guides that are helping us on this process, because it's so intense that many of us maybe couldn't take it. It's like, parents helping a child on a boat that it's going through a storm. I like that comparison, the boat through the storm. And the kid is like feeling like he's gonna vomit, and the parents hold him and reassure the kid everything is gonna be okay. So we're being held by this angelic beings and light beings to help us go through this process of awakening. And it's like a big light party. All these beings waiting for this big awakening of people and seeing the lights and lighting here and there. And I see that's happening in one way or another in different levels. More and more people are awakening to the lies of the system, to what we've been lied about, and willing to do something about it. And all that happened because we were pushed by the universe to have a, a stop into everything. Although we can look at it from a negative perspective, and and think that, oh, this is chaotic. We're in the middle of a pandemic and a virus is going to kill us all, and the economy is breaking down and all of that. But in the positive side, this is destroying a corrupted, crooked system that in reality, if we're evolving spiritually, we don't want to go back to the old system, an old system that has been torturing children and women, enslaving them underground, and the atrocities that have been happening to humans and animals on this planet, and the corrupted system that is always keeping this big distance between the few hand counted ones that detain all the power and the rest of the people, suffering and fighting amongst each other for a piece of bread. Do you really want to go back to a system like that? Or are you going to embrace the change, the push of the universe, which is destroying the old system to build a new one? And this building of the new one, it's a decision we're making right now, because this new system can be built in the hands of the old controllers, and then it's not going to be good. But on which reality do you plan to be? That is totally up to you. It's an individual choice that you're making right now, and that's what I feel when I am going through this storm myself. And talking about the storm that we're going through, I want to show you something very interesting on the Mayan calendar that I'm going to share with you. Let's see if I have this window open here. I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to share this. I don't know if you can see it. Let me wait. I'm just waiting to see because there is a delay between my life and what I see that is happening on YouTube. And I just want to make sure you're looking at the right thing. And there it is. Yes, you are. Okay. So let's continue. So here is the Mayan calendar. If you've watched some videos before, you heard me mentioning that at the end of July of 2020, we entered a year ruled by the blue storm number 2, meaning that the whole year until July this year was going to be a big challenge for all humanity. And the challenge is to self generate our own energy and not to be sucked by the system. So it's a learning of surviving with our own energy and not depending on the external energy. So we're becoming our own generator of energy. And that's the challenge for the year, but also the challenge for the next 13 days. Because as I mentioned, as above, as below, as outside, as inside, as big, as small, we have the year ruled by the blue storm number 2. And then we have this little wave of the same 13 ruled by the challenge of the blue storm starting today. So today is the first day of this wave. I'll show you. Well, first look at here where it's highlighted in green. That's today. And then we're moving down to the storm number 2 tomorrow. So expect a lot of challenge tomorrow in terms of energy and storms, magnetism. Oh, how do you say that in English, Bob? So fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be a big ride starting today, especially tomorrow. So we're going to go down here and then come up and go down the middle column of the calendar until we reach the center. This center here, this entire column, means we're receiving energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy. And I showed you the galaxy before, meaning we're not going to have so much filtering of this energy. This is going to just hit us. So it's going to be a big ride. So let me show you the next 13 days. Here is the wave that is ruling the whole year, but it's also ruling in double from today on the next 13 days. We're going into reflection, meditation. That's the goal. It's to go inside and reflect about who we are, what are we doing here, and how are we changing, and all these reflections and meditation. That's the goal, with the challenge of self generating our own energy, connecting with our own source of energy, understanding we're magical beings, very powerful magical beings, and that we can have fun on this ride. We are here to have fun with it. That is the challenge. And we'll be serving this process through planting our seeds that will flourish into our own enlightenment process, shaping the reality of like shaping the physical reality through allowing movement, evolution, and birth to our new selves, being ourselves the mother, and we'll be in full command of communicating unconditional love from our spirit, finding balance through dreams and astral travels and intuition, which is the night. The night will be our balance. We're going to be channeling the information on how to have the courage to plant the seeds we need to plant and let them flourish. We're going to be in the integrity of purifying our emotions and letting our sexual energy connect all of our chakras and awaken our kundalini or our entire energetic system of our higher level beings of our being. And we're going to activate this whole process by allowing the spirit to the higher spirit of the universe to deeply, deeply transform us. And when we talk about a radical transformation of that level being activated, it means letting part of the old die and embracing the new that is being born. And if you create resistance to that, then you're not going to be activating your newer self, and you're going to be creating more suffering. And then we're going to be manifesting our inner vision through the accomplishment of our healing and organizing ourselves, letting go of everything that doesn't serve us by being creative and allowing art and beauty to manifest, allowing our spiritual guides to collaborate with us by giving us the tools so that we can birth a new self with the emotions purified from the past and transcend into the wisdom of being present on the here and now and connect with our unconditional love. And that's how beautiful this wave is. The next wave, this wave goes until the 23rd of April. The 24th of April, we actually enter the next wave, which is the monkey wave. So the objective will be to be playful and play with magic and illusion with the challenge of freedom. And it's another intense wave, but I'll do this reading later because we already have a lot with this wave until April 23rd. But this whole ride goes all the way until the beginning of May. So expect the next 26 days to be very intense, actually more than 26 days, because these green ones here also are part of another way. So it would be more like 39, the next 39 days, 38, 39 days. All right. So I hope you have a really great journey because it's going to be very awesome if you decide to be so. But it could be very chaotic if you decided to be so for your particular experience on this life. Every one of us has the opportunity to evolve with this, but every one of us has also the free will to decide how our particular reality will be in the middle of everything that is going to be happening. And like my wise partner was saying today, you can choose to let go of everything you see happening outside. Hey, put your mask, go buy your things, and come back home and enjoy the time you have and the experience you have on your own evolution, And Robert here is saying, make sure you choose the right planet. The evil people are leaving this one. The light energy has them on the run. Good things are coming to this planet. That's what it is. But some people are choosing to follow these evil creatures because they're stuck in denial of the things, right? So it's your individual choice. Many people like me, they're telling you the truth and telling you the way, but it's up to everyone to choose wherever they want to go and whatever they want to experience. So that is my particular experience with the process of ascension into newer dimensions, or let's say newer because they all existed. The process of awareness of our other dimensions, because we are multidimensional beings. And it's amazing the power that we have. We just not allowing the awareness of that. So have fun with the ride. And what happened? Oh, have fun with the ride. Oops. Have fun with the rides. And I'll talk to you in the midst of this 13 days. Next Sunday will be 7 days from now. So we're going to be channeling channeling next Sunday. Awesome. So take care. Much love to you. Much, much consciousness. Bye.